G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Dave Shaw, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the Age of the Primes, Alchemist Prime. So, he had me quite confused, and I came to the realization what my problem was his name, Alchemist Prime. From all my research, looking up on the Google and Wiki, he does not fit an alchemist. Now, you can educate me in the comments if you feel so inclined. Please do, to prove me that I've maybe missed something when I was doing some research. Normally, I don't have to research because I get the gist of the characters. Primer Prime is the Matrix Bearer and the wielder of the Star Saber. Megatronus is the wielder of the Requiem Blaster and the first Decepticon boyfriend to Solus, who he killed, yada yada yada. Alchemist Prime doesn't fit his name, or I should say his name doesn't actually fit him. Basically, an alchemist is an older term for a chemist. And nothing that I've read hint at him being a chemist. So looking up about him, I know that he was Mac Adam in IDW or one of those comics, and he ran his pub. I am aware that he's one of the few, probably him and Alpha Trion and Reborn Optimus Prime, I think are the only ones who really stuck around after everything, after the fight with Unicron. So he became Mac Adam and he basically just stayed there on Cybertron. No one knew who he was. But the lenses, from what I was able to find out, allow him to see into both the physical and immaterial reality. So for those Legacy Kane fans among us, he can see the physical and the material realm. So he can see the living and the dead, or what is and what isn't visible. So, for example, he could probably see the various light spectrums that the human eyes can't see. He can see problems and solutions to problems. So it makes me think that maybe during the fight with Cybertron, the fight with Unicron, he was able to see the problem of fighting Unicron and basically helping strategize how to beat Unicron by also seeing the solution. That's not an alchemist. Honestly, if you really wanted to call this guy by a proper name, he should be called Mystic Prime, because he does a lot more mysticism than he does alchemy. So, I don't know, it confused me for a while. Like, I'm looking at him going, I know I've got to do a video on this guy, but I don't understand who or what he is. I knew he was a Prime. I knew he was one of the 13, but I didn't understand what exactly his purpose and his role was. So, yeah, he can basically see, I guess you could say he can see into all the different possible dimensions. He's Doctor Strange. There you go. He's Doctor Strange. He can see into different realities and such and such. So that's what I said. He's more mysticism than he is alchemy. But that was 3 minutes of rambling. I just wanted to get it out there that I didn't quite understand the concept of the character from his abilities. So if you're one like me and you weren't 100% sure what his deal was, hopefully that helps. If you think I didn't go in depth enough and I missed something, you know where the comment section is. Please enlighten me. Anyway, so here he is, looking pretty good. He reminds me very much of Bulkhead and Hound, honestly. More Bayverse Hound, I suppose, than G1 Hound. He does have his lenses, which do look pretty cool. He does have these symbols, and I did read up what they were, but I can't remember. That's obviously a symbol for him. From what I understand, I think this is... Actually, now that I can actually see it through the camera, it looks a little bit clearer. That might be regarding Unicron, and that one I'm not 100% sure. That symbol does look familiar. I just can't really place it right now. I think they're from hints from 2 different cartoons or toy lines. Honestly, it was hard enough remembering all the mysticism stuff, let alone what exactly the symbols were. So please, correct as needed. But yeah, he does have his lenses, which can be separated if you wish. I also had a hard time trying to figure out exactly which way they're supposed to go. But you also have this here, and there's a slight gap, is it? No, it's behind it. So basically they slip in together, and you have your lenses. He can have them as weapons, since this does have a pointy bit. And you can plug that in there, so he can use it that way, or the box has it, that he has this put on the back, and of course you can do it either way. Plugs into any 5mm peg, and you have that. So however you want to do it. Also, while I'm thinking of 5mm pegs, because I know I'm going to forget until later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's it, at least for now. I know there's 2 more, but I think they're actually hidden from transformation. That, of course, you can do with what you will. I suppose you could put the lenses on there, maybe, or at least one of them. I don't know. I think it'd be a very awkward holding, so maybe not. But you can, if you feel like it, you can always give him some Metroplex shoulder extensions, which actually don't look too bad now that I think of it. But that is up to you. He doesn't have any other weapons. He just has his lenses. So now we can get down to articulation. And I will say, that head looks really good. Like, really, really good. Very mad scientist-y look. I'm trying to think, I'm trying to think of exactly which mad scientist. I don't know, but it looks like he's wearing goggles and everything. So he's, even though he's a good guy. Anyway, head can't do a full 360 due to his collar and his chin strap. Looks up a little bit, looks down. It actually has a back and forwards, which is technically the transformation joint, so you can actually get him to look further down. Arms can do a full 360. They go out that far. You have bicep rotation. Yeah, bicep rotation. It's technically above the elbow and below the shoulder. You have elbow bend. Gets you that far. You have nothing at the fingers or the fingers or the thumb. You can do that, but that is more for transformation, and that also has an issue. He has, let's say, we'll go with waist rotation, or at least ab rotation, so they can actually do full 360, but that's mostly for transformation as well. So leg goes up that far, leg goes back that far. Of course, you have some gappage, big surprise. You have upper thigh rotation. No, there's no ball joint. No, there's no ball joint in the hip, so you're not going to get it any further. You have, it feels like a very soft ratchet in his knee, which gets you that far. You have ankle tilt that's quite decent. No toe up. You do have a whole lot of toe down, but that's more getting into transformation areas. So there we go. So it looks pretty damn good, even with the holiness. But like I said, he gives me, at least with his colors in there, he's giving me a bit of Hound and Bulkhead. Honestly, he's honestly, I could imagine him getting drunk at his oil stop and taking part in a local brawl. So. Right, let's get down to transformation. So you're going to pull this down. It won't go all the way. Don't go too far. You will break it. You're going to fold the head in, and his head piece here actually fits not too bad past the collar. There might be a little rubbing, but not too much. And they can go back up. You're going to pop these out. You have this tab here, which goes into this port, and this sort of just sits in the back. Same on the other side, they can come down. Now you're going to rotate the arm and fold it out. So both on both sides. And I'll get this out of the way because this is an issue. So the idea is that when you fold the hand in, it's supposed to go in. But as you can see, it keeps popping back. That's because the 5mm peg that's in here, if I put the light on, you should be able to see it. There is its back side, and that gets in the way of the thumb. So it will not go all the way in. So just push it as far as it'll go and just let it sit there because it's not going to get any further. All right. Then we want to rotate up. There's actually a joint here. So rotate up like so. Same on the other side. All right. Now we are going to do the legs. So we're going to rotate that waist. Probably could have done it earlier, but never mind. We'll split them a little bit. You have this joint here. And I'm probably got my arms in the way, so I'm just going to lift them up a little bit. You're going to flip this open, and you're going to flip the foot back. You're not going to close it yet. Flip that open as far as it goes. Just be careful not to push too far. You will break it. Fold that up. So there is a sort of little hole, I think, back here for part of his foot. Anyway, so we're going to tab those together right here. And we're just going to angle his knees a little bit because we're going to need a little bit of room. All right, so we need to bring these back like so. And I'm just looking. There is this tab here, which I think plugs into his thigh somewhere, but we'll get to that in a minute. So bring that around. You may have to lift his arm up and just get over. I think there is. It does tab into that leg. I'm just trying. Oh, no, it's not. It's this piece here. So it's the side of the hip, I think. So you have to make sure that hip lines up. That's better. All right, we'll leave the arm sitting nice up. So we'll do the same on the other side. So port, peg. Now that I've got one side in, it should, yep, nice and easy. Now you have on the arms, you have a tab and a port. So push those in together. Make sure those shoulders stay where they are. Now you need to get them past here. So just fold them down and they should sit perfectly fine. Then bring those knees up and you have, once again, I'm going to have to use the light. You have this peg that's going to go into a little port on his leg. So if you can get them up and line them up, you might move those arms a little bit. I think I got the other side, yep. And you need to flatten those arms in so you have this here. Then all you got to do is 2 tabs here, sort of 2 tabs here, bring them over, and it sort of has a soft click there. It's not tabbing into the arms, it's just sort of pressing against it. Press that together, squeeze together what you need, and we're almost done, like so. And then you have this piece. Now, mine was a little stiff when I first got it, so just beware. You want to gently, and still a little bit stiff, you need to get your finger under there. Don't push on here. Try to get that up enough. Fold the window forward, then keep pushing it back, and you need to get these under his shoulders. So if you go all the way back, and then pull back a little bit on the back end, push that in, and there is Alchemist Prime in his alt mode. It is a really nice alt mode. Honestly, I don't know who else I'd love to see like this. Like I said, it's a very military vehicle. Once again, bulkhead, hound, or at least some alternative of those two. I don't know who other military characters we could possibly use. I don't know, actually, that's an idea. Give it a repaint, a deluxe Bayverse Ratchet. Recolor it, put some light bars up top of there. Yeah, pretty close. Now, as I said, these are supposed to be flat. That's why you have hands partly sticking out the back, but because of those joints, they're just going to keep popping it forward. But he's pretty clean. Honestly, he's pretty clean, and his chest plate, if I've got it far enough up, definitely is clear enough that you don't have to worry about it, although we do have plastic wheels. But plastic is sometimes better considering that rubber wheels can absolutely split. Now, As for his lenses, you can, of course, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. You can plug them in like so. So you have that. Or you can actually combine them and still use those two ports. Plug it in, try to get it in. 1, 2. And there you go. You're going to have that look, which looks really ridiculous. So there is those. Right. Now, size comparison. There he is with Windblade. So he's a little bit short of Windblade, but, you know, Windblade's a tall girl. Right, so let's get back into robot mode. Now, the hardest part is this windows. So you basically have to get your nails in there or get something in there to start lifting it up and sort of just getting, because it's obviously stuck behind there. Yeah. You need to pull, lift, like so, and once that's up there, you can just bring this down and boom. Now, once again, I don't know what you could use that tab for because it really doesn't tab in anything but or port, so you're up to you to decide. So we're going to split the legs. Well, technically the legs. Over there as far as it'll go. We're going to lift those arms up because we're not too worried about that knee joint now because it's nice and clear. We are going to, and I'll actually show the actual tabbing a little bit better. So we split that, bring down his knees. So there's that tab. And I don't know if I can really show it from any decent angle. What I'll do is I'll transform that foot first, just to give me a bit of clearance. And I think it sort of sits into here. So that would just go into there. Anyway, so bring that down. You can bring his foot out, rotate that over. Obviously, you could do the arms first to make that a little bit cleaner. I made that a little messy. You want to bring the arms out, get them untabbed, like so, and you could do that. I just sort of rushed it. And straight those legs out, and I'm going to rotate the waist. All right, so you are going to bring down the arm. So that was like that. That's what the piece we folded up. This is going to come around here, like so. We'll do the same on the other side. And then we can take this tab here, or this port here is going to go into that tab, and this is going to stay at the back. That gets our arms where they're supposed to be. They're pretty decently firm in place, so that's good. Rotate those arms, bring them down. If the hands haven't come out already, bring them out. So rotate around, down. Come in here, pull his chest forward. And you may have to flex a little bit, but get your thumb onto the back of his neck and lift that up all the way until it goes click. And then close his chest. And there is Alchemist back in his robot mode. I have no idea why I decided to do that off camera. Anyway, so bringing him back. So we got some room. Here he is with MP10, who's got a bit of a dopey gun at the moment. I just realized I knocked it out of his hands. So there we go. He's pretty decent sized with MP10. So, yeah, fair dinkum team. Alright. This is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think I might put you here. I'm probably going to put that camera back up again. So here he is with... Oops, my stand isn't working. My peg has moved. Here he is with my Cronus on his Apex armor. Here he is with A Hero is Born Alphatron. Here he is with Age of the Primes Primer. Here he is with Legacy United Vector Prime, who's doing a little leaning, I don't know why. And at least for now, here he is I'll lift that camera up a little bit more to make it a little bit more decently angled. Here he is with Age of the Primes, Solus Prime. So there is the current primes. Yes, I'm still not bringing a Heroes Born Orion in here. He's a nice stand-in for my shelf, but he doesn't look very good with these guys. So we have 2 of the 13 left on my shelf. I won't spoil who, but if you know the release schedule, you probably know who they are. I am waiting for, who is it, A3 and is it Amalgamous Prime to be released. So I'm waiting to see what happens there, but there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.